Hello, sweet souls. It is DTO in the flow. Let's take a deep breath. Mm. Mm. I am grateful to have on today on the 5Q interview series, Meli Aguayo. And in 2002, Reiki City Wellness Lounge had an idea. Disillusioned with the structured traditional one-size-fits-all fitness and holistic lifestyle that had dominated the market, Meli is set out to change the industry. And so began the story of Reiki City Wellness Lounge. Meli and her team created a whole new perspective on healthy, healing, and living. The essence of what I do is what my mission was from the beginning. Create programs designed for real people like you who want a healthy lifestyle that's convenient, stress-free, and it works. That's what Meli quoted. And she continues to lead the development and growth of Reiki City Wellness Lounge, as well as being a certificated yoga facilitator with over 500 hours, Reiki master, healing touch, and biomagnet therapy practitioner. Meli and her team have one goal: share the practices with everyone that they meet. When one discovers a state of consciousness through mindfulness practices, it begins to redefine their life. Reiki City Wellness Lounge helps to shift from the external world of consumption and receiving the internal world of contentment and wholeness. This can lead to big changes in the way that one lives their lives and makes choices. And the clients are the ultimate muses who inspire them to create new treatments just as unique as they are. Without further ado, let's bring on Meli Aguayo.
Hola, hola.
Hola, todo bien, aquí estamos. Yeah,
Happy
thank you for
Cinco de
being here.
Mayo.
Yes, feliz Cinco de Mayo a todos. Cha, cha, cha.
Represent.
Absolutely. Yes, so colorful and beautiful. And I have my palapa, so this is my representation, right?
I know you are part of the Latin culture, so
Yeah,
you were.
gringo pa afuera, latino por dentro.
Eso es.
Eso. Yeah, I think in a past life I was a Latino. I'm not sure, or
I
this
think
life,
so
who knows?
too. Hey, your
Yes.
heritage is probably there. Once you take that test, they'll tell you
Yeah, I haven't
what
done
you're
that
doing.
yet. That would be
Yeah.
great if it'd be like, boom, improve everything.
Yeah.
100%. Viva la raza. Yes, so good. Yeah, and I've studied, lived, and traveled in 13 countries, and the majority of those have been in Latin American. So that's one of those amazing commonalities that you and I have, hermana, is the fact that I get to celebrate the culture and the vibrancy and, so many delicious and nutritious parts and pieces of all these global cultures, and for all of us to come together into this connection of a global yoga community, that all these healers around the globe, where you're going to get into your company with Reiki, as I introduced you, with your phenomenal bio, and also like how we can all find this time in human history to go within. And that was something that was really left a mark for me when I was reading that. And I want to let everyone know that's live streaming right now that we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all of the places. And
All over the world.
yeah, everywhere, you name it. And one fun thing we asked you to do is just comment, and we can show your comments on the screen. If you want to actually use your words, that's great. If you just want to have your favorite emoji, that would be awesome. And you could ask any questions that we will bring up in this 5Q interview with Meli today. Some of the topics you may be familiar with and you want to go deeper. Some of them might be brand new. And we request that everyone shares this out there. And we want to make sure that you know where to find Meli, at Meli Reiki on IG, right below here, and then reikicity.com. All right, so let's start off the 5Q interview with question number one. Tell us about your personal journey with yoga and Reiki.
So, my personal journey with yoga actually started in 2010. I had been a fitness and dance choreographer for my production company since 2007. And before that, I was in the dance world since 2002. And my body started to turn on me. You know, the body is very interesting because once you start to overexert yourself, whether that's dancing or working out, your body needs to stretch, it needs to elongate. So it really started from physical injuries. And I took one class, core power yoga. I mean, I did some stretching on my own, but never really a full practice. And I was so blown away with the practice, not just the physical practice, but the spiritual practice of how it made me feel in the inside and the things that were coming up emotionally, that the teacher announced they were doing a teacher training. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but it's education on yoga. So I signed up.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
I took one class and I signed up for teacher training. So I've actually been teaching yoga and practicing yoga the exact same time.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
and,
That's your dharma. That's your path, right?
you know, it was intuition. All the signs and messages were everything. I believe in synchronicity with the universe, and all the things that had led up to that day taking class, and that particular teacher talking about their training, and all of those things kind of lined up. And I signed up. I started teaching. I did the audition, and mind you, being a public speaker has never been my jam. So it was like learning a foreign language. And I really wanted to use language of healing, not just for the physical body, but to find that deeper connection with the community, because I knew what it did for me. And I knew what it was going to do for me. It was like, I knew that it was going to be this path. So I started teaching. I've actually have taught over 4,000 classes.
Wow,
I
that's
believe.
impressive. That's amazing.
Not including the
I,
online classes, but
oh yeah, that's amazing. And I've taken classes, by the way, anyone out there, like if you really want to have like a phenomenal workout or just get your flow on, it's such a great offering that Meli provides, and such energy. And those moments, you know, like when you're running a marathon, they have that proverbial moment where you hit the wall. Like in classes, sometimes I'd be like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, you know, and all of a sudden you're like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm like, okay. So that's what's great about your enthusiasm. And I love, you know, one of the things that people say if in yoga is the student and the teacher within. Like we all possess that. At any time you get to learn and you get to teach. And so cool, because you're the first person I've ever met where it's like one and done. I'm going to be a teacher. I'm just going for it. That's cool. And so what about Reiki? So when did Reiki come into your life?
Since I was born.
Naturally. That's awesome. Natural born girl, Reiki master.
Yeah, you know, as a little girl, I come from a line of my family, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my aunt. They're all very spiritual people and have psychic gifts, intuitive gifts. We all have them. Some people practice them more than others. Some will use them or want to enhance them. And that's really my mission, is to help people awaken to their intuitive gifts, because the intuitive gifts like Reiki, which is a holistic modality that is really an exchange of energy, and energy is within all of us. So it's a connection with me and you. Right now we are exchanging Reiki because that's love and light, right? So that started, let's see, my healing touch. I got certified in 2015, and then I got certified as a Reiki master soon after that. And then I started really focusing on offering treatments as a business actually last year. So Reiki City is a new company. And yeah, it's been a blessing ever since. It's just been beautiful to see people's transformations and how they are able to take the healing and apply it and really be a teacher themselves, right? Because it's always going back to the student teacher aspect
Hmm.
of you're guided, but then once you're able to learn the tools, then you're able to guide yourself. So that's always been kind of
Totally.
it's that exchange. And I love that part of the healing world, the wellness world, the holistic world.
Hmm. Well, and there's
Yeah.
one thing to learn information. So my question number two is like, you know it, you're the student, and then what was it that inspired you to teach? And really, as you said, like public speaking wasn't something that was like a comfort zone for you to be in. And a lot of people
Hmm.
fear that, right? They fear that over spiders and death and everything else. So like, how did you courageously say, okay, I want to teach, I want to share these superpowers with the world?
I believe that our vulnerability and our struggles is there to be shared. And I was in a very vulnerable space at the time when I started my teacher training program, or when I started learning Reiki and teaching Reiki, because now as a master, I'm able to teach others how to do Reiki. And I believe that if we continue to be vulnerable, hold a space of vulnerability together, then we're not afraid to do anything, and anything can be possible. So it scared the crap out of me to get in front of people and teach. It scared the crap out of me to give a person a Reiki treatment. It scared every time. I was like, I'm so
Yeah.
nervous. I don't know. And once you master your craft and you master your craft by teaching, right?
Yes.
And I think just like you teach Spanish and you teach
Hmm.
music, and you've been able to use that gift to plant those seeds, and it makes you a better teacher, right?
Yes.
A better
Yeah.
human, a better
Absolutely.
better at your craft. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And that's actually one of the highest forms. Like one of the least effective ways for anyone to learn is lecturing, right? No one wants to sit in a college class of like 300 people and just be lectured and told, because you don't retain a lot of information. The ultimate way, based on studies, is how someone truly learns is when they teach, because then you get to go into the weeds of it all, in the micro and the macro, and you get to frame it and share and perceive and know that everyone has their own learning modalities. And if
Yeah.
someone wants to learn more visually, maybe with their motor skills, auditorily, you can shift that energy. And also like just realize like, who am I to be this conduit, and how do I get to have that message? Because there's four stages of communication, right? There's the sender, there's the message, there's the receiver, and there's the feedback. And when people, after a session with you, so I'd love to hear, like, question three is what makes your sessions unique? Or another way to frame it is, what are some testimonials, or what do people say about the results of either a Reiki session with you or a yoga class? Like, what are people saying about
Yeah.
your gifts?
So in my sessions, I have taken all of the knowledge and I put it all together. For example, if I'm giving a Reiki treatment, I combine a little bit of the yoga stretching, my intuitive gifts to give you psychic information. I also do some healing techniques, Reiki with my hands on you. So I try to combine everything that I know into a session. And I think I love to give all that I can give. So everything that I know, I want the person to experience that too. Um, and the results that I have received, or results that you can receive from the sessions, is I have a lot of clients that have gut issues to anxiety and depression. It helps to relieve chronic pain, and it also helps to reduce stress and allow yourself to come into a space of calm. And a lot of people are constantly on the go, and this is their time, kind of like on the yoga mat. It's your time to recharge, feel good, feel better, and ultimately be that energy that goes and shares that with somebody else.
Mm. It's like a charging station with Meli, right?
It's a charging station.
Yeah.
And I really help people get to the deep root, especially in the Reiki sessions and my coaching sessions, is have them be aware and attuned to what their deep rooted issues are. Because if we just kind of scratch the surface, we put a band-aid on things, and we're going to have to keep going back and back. And I really help people understand what the root issues are so they can take the tools, self-heal, and then hopefully not see me ever again, but not that,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah.
for some
Well,
maintenance work.
we're always in this process, right? We're always
Yeah.
growing, evolving, and that's what we could. And everyone has trauma in life. That's just, I mean, being born is a traumatic experience by nature, right? And so there's things that happen, and of course our minds are meaning making machines. So something happened, you think, you know, whatever age it happened in your life. And so I love how what your intentions are is to get to that like root of what it is, and to put light onto that and allow for someone to have that awareness. Like knowledge is power. And once you know, you can't unknow something when you get that message or that psychic information. And for you to give that information to someone can be like, whoa, maybe that's why my whole life is I've been pretending to do this or attempting to impress so-and-so in my life. And if I were to remove that, who could I become, or who could I remember like my soul to truly be? And so that's really powerful, because it sounds like beyond like the physical results that people have and the outcomes with the Reiki and the yoga, it sounds like, you know, the mind, body, spirit, there's a lot of transformational work from that personal component. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. And I love that you said, you know, we're born, and when we're born, we struggle. And that's the beautiful part of life is we're going to have struggles. We're going to have challenges, but it's about not getting stuck in them. And a lot of people get stuck in them and don't have the information or maybe the tools to acknowledge them, let them come to the surface, deal with them, and then grow from them. And so that's what creates energetically, a lot of the times it attacks the body. You know, it attacks, and a lot of times it will create serious disease. And so it's so important to really have that mind, like you said, mind, body, and spirit cleanse, or mind, body, and spirit reset, so that you can live the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. And I feel like during this COVID-19 quarantine, that there's the challenge on a global scale. And then we're also having what shows up, and I'll speak personally for me, like these other challenges, like, okay, well, what am I creating with my business? What's my life? What's my purpose? And yoga, as you know, Meli, it's like your dharma. Like, what is my path? What's this human journey that I'm on? And I feel like a lot of us, I know many of my friends have been using the term cocoon, right? We're in this metamorphosis. We're like this gooiness, right? We're indoors. We're like, but I feel like for a lot of us that are manifesting generators, we get to like redesign. And that was one of the words in your bio that came through, that like we get to reinvent, redesign. That's one of the coolest things about being a human being, right? Like at any time you could be like, I'm going to be a sculpt yoga instructor. No, I'm going to do like Reiki practices. No, I'm going to create this in my life. And so it's awesome how you've had these different chapters, and all of it just makes all the sense in the world in your sessions, how you're taking all of these experiences and you're putting it together. And as you said, like this is ancestral knowledge that comes from your family tree, and that's wonderful that you get to pass that along to other people.
I love that you said that we're in this cocoon, because when you think about a cocoon or like a butterfly, it comes out of its shell, and what does it become? This transcendent, beautiful, illuminating, you know, butterfly. And that's what we can be. We can embrace this time, this challenge that we're all living in, and it makes us redirect our focus, our attention. You know, what are the things that I'm doing that are in my truth? What are the things that I'm doing that might not be in alignment with my real truth? And seeing that is a beautiful part of our lives. if we continue to just feel like, I just want to feel good all the time, I just want to feel good all the time, and we're not embracing those times where we're in those shadow emotions, then we're missing something. There's something, we're going to miss the mark. We're going to miss those opportunities of the door, you know, the opportunities of change. So, and
Absolutely.
that's, you know, even for me right now, I'm actually creating a program, the transformational program, to help empaths and highly sensitive people end their victimhood and their trauma drama so they could find love. And that's something that I'm currently creating and I'm really excited about, because, you know, at the end of the day, we all want love. Everybody wants their soulmate. And
Of course.
if they're in a relationship now, you know, how could they improve their relationship? How could they make their relationship flourish? Because everything is a relationship. So, you know, continuing to craft and master, right? We talk about mastery, we talk about teaching our relationships all around us, and specifically one that is, you know, whether it's a soulmate or someone we are manifesting to be our soulmate. What better way to spend time in quarantine with somebody that you love?
Totally. Yeah. And relationship, you know, that's like a word that I started to peel deeper, you know, the proverbial onion, going deeper and deeper, being like, oh yeah, it's relatability. Like you and I are relating to each other. It's my relationship with myself. How do I relate to the physical world? How do I interpret what's happening? And even right now, like people can relate to COVID-19 and the coronavirus as something that's over the top in one area, right? Like it's tragic, it's horrible, it's going to kill me and my family, which, you know, there have been over 60,000 deaths in the United States, and globally it's been a lot. So it's heavy energy, right? And then there's that distinction of like, am I relating to the energy on the global consciousness, or is this actually in my auric field? Is this my creation? And that's like the confusing times I've heard a lot of my friends say, because I think we're in like week 7 or 8 of all of this happening, where it's like, am I
Week 8,
absorbing all of this, or is it truly like coming within, or am I just, because we're all, you know, I feel like there's empaths, like that term for a lot of people, when you go deeper, it's like, oh yeah, I am empathetic. Like if I see someone that wants to step on that caterpillar, I go, no, don't step on the caterpillar, you know, like I'm an empath, like I empathically know, like, but then certain people will be like, I just want to crush this because I'm a human and I'm going to seek and destroy, right? So then there's these other like heart-centered beings. And I feel like a lot of people that get into this healing spiritual pathway are into that. And it's like, it's not, how could I, of course the ego is a part of who we are. It creates a container or a way for us to interpret, you know, what we can create as these choices in our lives. And so I'm really,
well, you know, what's interesting is all 3 of those is us.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of the path you choose, right? How you respond in relation to that caterpillar. Did I say that right?
Yeah, because a caterpillar wants to become a butterfly. That's the journey of, as we said, and we're in the cocoon. And so if you destroy something, and certain things, you know, metaphorically, we get to like old patterns and old belief systems. We don't need those if they're not serving us, if we can't relate to those anymore. And sometimes you have to drop people off at the bus stop of life, right? I'm sure like your friends that you have now have evolved over time based on how you relate to them and their relationship to you. And I love what you said too, is if you're calling in that soulmate or any person or those relationships, or maybe you want to clean up relationship with your family, it sounds like this course you're offering is going to create that opening for people to see clearer what's possible in their lives.
And like you said earlier, it's the relationship with self first, right? Because that's where it starts. And understanding your behaviors, your traumas, your strengths. And then from there, applying the tools that can support you to be the better version of yourself, the tractable person, the person that is manifesting everything they want in their lives, because it's energy. Thought is energy. Wherever thought goes, energy flows. And I truly am a huge believer of that. And then, and then transforming into you as the person that you see yourself as your highest self and being that person. But it's those shadow emotions, those old feelings, they're going to crawl up here and there. And it's
Yeah.
really how we see it, we catch it, and then how we deal with it and move forward. Because I think it's beautiful to, old emotions started coming up for me last week. I had an interesting week last week, and I had to go back and say, oh, there's that old Meli. I know who you are. Here's my toolbox. We're going to clean up shop a bit. We're going to embrace this anger, embrace this sadness, and we're going to turn it into something and be creative with that. So easier said than done, but it is possible, and it is attainable. And that's really what my program is about, is healing yourself so that you can find love, the love that you deserve.
I love that. Yeah, we're all in the classroom of life, and we get to grow. And some people are flailing around, not having these tools and skills. And that's what I love about your program, is you're creating a container for people to say to themselves, like, oh, if I'm spinning out emotionally, okay, what can ground me in this moment? And I know that your program has those grounding practices. Breath work is really important, as well as movement of the body and all these modalities that you've learned over the years. It sounds like it's, as what I read in your bio, it's like about contentment and wholeness. And how do you arrive there? It's really powerful.
Yeah. Put 20 years in one program, 20 years of education in one program.
I love that. Yeah, actually, we have a comment from someone. Lucas Pohl says, wherever thought goes, energy flows. Very, very well said. And then we have a futbolista. We have a soccer fan right there.
Go Chivas.
So,
Guadalajara. I do like the Tijuana Cholos though too.
Of course. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's been such an interesting conversation, because I feel that there's this and I don't know if we're the only ones, because we're in California having these conversations, but I do recognize that despite of where you are in place and time, anyone that's watching right now, there's this pandemic happening, and it's a Greek word. Pan means all, demic means people. So it's all people being impacted by this. And a lot of us some people, as you know, relationships are ending. Certain relationships with themselves and their family are growing. Like, I have a weekly call with my family now on Zoom, and we weren't as consistent as we were before. But during this type of crisis and challenge, we get to create and redefine who we are. And these new possibilities are fully emerging in my life. And I love too, because you've shifted and pivoted, because you were in person with your Reiki City Lounge wellness programs and center. And now you are doing distant Reiki, and a lot of these courses that you're offering are 100% online. Is that correct?
Yes. So because energy and Reiki knows, so energy, right, is in everything. Energy and Reiki knows no time or space. So as if I'm doing the treatment right there with you. And so I do distant Reiki healing sessions to support that holistic modality without being there. So it's safer, but you still receive the same results. And yesterday I had a client who had a horrible migraine, terrible migraine. So she worked on her, called her up. She's like, I don't know what you did, but my migraine is gone. And,
Wow.
and I think it's a partnership. It's not just me doing the work. I'm not the healer. I'm just the revealer. I reveal what is already there within you. And as a again, in relationship together, we're doing the healing work together. Because if you really want that headache to go away, the power, like you said, energy flows, you know, thought and energy, it flows. You're going to see results. Things are going to happen. It's not a magic trick.
Totally. Yeah.
It's magical,
absolutely.
but it's not a magic trick.
I love it. Yeah. And there's this balance of, I think life is both. Like life is this like physical body of like reality and atoms, and you know, we're made of stardust, which is the cool part because then it's all magical as well, but we're also carbon-based life forms. So we're like this dichotomy of both worlds dancing all the time. And it's so beautiful. And that's what gets into like our energy centers, our chakras, is where we're the root, like we're the core of Mama Gaia, La Madre Tierra. And we're also the stars, and we're the cosmos, and we're out there, we're connected to all of this, and we can feel and become and remember who we are. And I feel like this time in human history is an opportunity for us to remember who we are. And I'll tell you, like, my growth wouldn't have been a possibility if it weren't for mentorship. And so I really applaud you for taking on that role of teaching people of how they can enter this zone that is filled with this healing opportunity or the magic, and calling in the love of their life, and also like having that self-care and that self-love for themselves, because maybe people have lost their way and just gone down, you know, whatever rabbit hole in their minds and be like, oh, everything's horrible and over. And yes, it's okay to have these emotions and feelings. As you said, Meli, you had an episode recently, and my beloved Himalaya, all of her stuff came up for her last week, and that was, I think there was something in the air. You two have to talk about that. It was like things from like, you know, the inner child, and the little girl wasn't being served, and there was a reaction, a response. And, you know, and this is like, when we authentically talk about this, then we're like, oh, wow, like we're all in this together. Like, it's not, we have to be this perfect version of ourselves all the time. Within the imperfections, we get to, as we were saying, like we have this higher potential of who we are. We get to like be on that pathway. So it's really phenomenal that you're offering this.
I mean, we can't really facilitate unless we've gone through these things ourselves, right?
Completely,
so it's, you know, it's healing is constant work. It's beautiful, but it takes time. And I believe that, you know, like you said, we are all going through things. We're not alone, even though we may be stuck in our homes. It's such a blessing to have the internet and all these outlets to receive information, to receive help, to learn, to grow, to just put a smile on your face. You know, you and I have had classes together, and we were talking about putting on an event, and you're like, we got to do these now.
For sure.
This is what's happening.
Well, the healers are being called forward, and during crisis, that's where leaders are born. And so I feel like all of us that have been these heart-centered beings, that, you know, it's people are choosing the like shift their lives in phenomenal ways. Like people are realizing, okay, well, this is about me now. Like if I was working for this big corporation before, and I was just kind of on there, you know, it's like a puppeteer kind of situation where all of a sudden you're like, wait, like the veil has been taken away, and it's like, okay, I get to now, as what a lot of people talk about in psychology, like you get to be like the observer of your own human journey. You get to like pop out of that prefrontal cortex and be like, I'm just going to go, or, you know, I'm just going to work and I'm going to be this, and society has these bright, shiny objects, and I'm just going to go for that and go for that. And then at the end of your lifespan, you're like, wait, what was that all about? What happened? Like, you know, someone could be like, I'm 90 years old, and what did I actually achieve? Or did I ever truly feel or live? And so what's great about this program that you're offering is like, you get to give that opportunity for people to like awaken and to remember who they are. And many people have lived their lives, millions of people have lived and died their life that have just been in that, you know, as they say in Vedic terminologies, like samsara, where they're just cycling through this loop and they're never like out of it, where they can have this like feet on the ground, hands up above into the stars and be like, I'm alive, I'm connected, and then live in that possibility. And so one thing that I do, one of my specialties, of course, is music. And that's how I channel energy and get all these juicy rhythms and sparkly sound waves. And so my question number 4 is, how do you integrate music either into your Reiki practices, your yoga practices, or just in general in your life? Like, what is music for you?
Man, music is my soul. It is the gateway to my soul because it has kept me alive. And I have used it not just in my sessions, in teaching classes, in, whether I'm cleaning, it's the vibration that, music is vibration. And when you are sending that signal out, you are a direct vibration and a direct higher frequency for the universe. And when you connect with that, you can't help but feel you're outside of yourself, right? We're so in our physical form, in our third dimension all the time, but music allows us to go fourth dimension, fifth dimension,
right,
and so on. So music is just in every aspect of my life. The only place I actually stopped listening to music was when I was in my car.
Same for me, actually. A lot of people
really
get surprised when I tell them that. Yeah, no, I drive.
Yeah.
I don't. The only time I would ever listen to my car is when I'm parked and I have a song that isn't released yet. And when there's a mastering process of a song, you want to listen to it like, how does it sound on my phone? How does it sound on my headphones? How does it sound in a car? On a boat, in a bus, whatever. That's like music producers geek out on this stuff. So I'll listen in like car. And actually, it's funny. We have this old van that we converted for like van life, and it's like 2002 van. I'll listen into those crummy speakers in order to know if the song would sound good on all platforms. So, what a lot of people say is if a song's great, it'd sound awesome in the shower and it would sound awesome on like the radio or on a Spotify playlist or anything. So that's kind of my tester. But no, I agree with you. When you drive, sometimes because also like in the time and space of human history, for us to traverse across the planet at like whatever 100 kilometers is just a bizarre thing, like the Jetsons. So like our bodies and everything's just flying, and for us to actually be like, and to be still and be silent, that's actually like next level Jedi practice right there.
Yeah, I have to, because I'm constantly listening to music all day long. And I love it. However, when I'm driving, I want to be very aware of the road and be very mindful of other people and myself as well. It's like a meditation, and I think it's important to take those moments where you can be quiet and silent and honor that, because to me, that's music just as much.
Absolutely.
I meditate without music all the time outside, and the birds are music to me. So you can make music really anything you want.
Totally. Right? And I love nature stuff. I know you've heard some of my more meditative songs, and I use the ocean waves, birds, all of that. And so let's go to question 5, which is, where can we find you online and learn about this program and everything you're offering?
Yeah. So you can send a direct message to me on Facebook, Meli Aguayo, or you can connect with me on Meli Reiki on Instagram. I also have ReikiCity.com. There's an information page that you can go to where it says contact and connect with me, message, or you can email me as well. meliaguayo@gmail. I know I shared my email.
And you can book a session right on your website.
Yeah, you can book a session there for distant Reiki or a cutting cord ceremony. You're like, what's that?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So here's an overview of the Reiki that you offer. Nice definition for many people.
And I'm hoping to be back in office in June is what I'm
Yes.
hoping, because I'm Reiki and biomagnetic therapy is the other modality that I practice, is a wellness, or helps with mental health and emotional health. So I'm hoping things will start to simmer down and I can get back to my office.
Hmm.
But in the meanwhile, we've got this incredible transformational program. We can do distant Reiki over the phone. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I know a lot of people are inspired by what you're offering in the world, and I trust that a lot of people have learned about who you are and your journey, which is really inspirational. And the fact that, I feel like this is an essential service, and I know a lot of places are staying open, that sometimes I'm thinking, is that really, I think they left like golf courses open up in one state, and I was like, but then like other like healing practices are closed. It's kind of interesting
Yeah.
how certain people interpret what an essential service is.
I think because
And
of the touching
correct.
is
Yeah.
just not as, they want to say as safe, but we do use safety precautions.
Yeah, because you can use like a mask, and you can have gloves, and so and as you said, it's
Correct.
an energy exchange that, despite of like if there's physical precautions, which the world is going to be different after this, and
Sure.
it's important that there's still possibilities for people to understand that. And so, where are you located for anyone that would be interested in June or when you do reopen?
I'm located in Birdland, which is off the 805. It's near Kearney Mesa. Actually, yep.
Excellent.
So
And all
I'll be
that
there.
information is on your website. So anyone that's interested, and I do encourage anyone that's watching right now or on the archive to go directly to reikicity.com. Go to Instagram. Meli is an expert Instagrammer. So if you go to Meli Reiki and DM her, and then she will get back to you very quickly, and you can book that session, and you can learn more about the program that she's offering, which is such a beautiful offering. And so many people right now don't have that container or that mentorship. I'm personally in a men's group, and Himalaya's in a women's group. And a lot of like, that's foreign for a lot of people. They're like, what's that all about? Like, well, we hold the container for each other. We share with what's coming up in our lives. And then we also share like best practices. Like, what is it that we're able to do? What kind of tool that you were saying that you have in your toolkit? Like, okay, I'm going to clean this up because there's a breakdown, and now we get to have a breakthrough and an opportunity to move forward into this. And that's like the cycle of being a human being. Because if you stay in the trauma, or stay in the breakdown, or stay in the pain, life isn't fun anymore. Right. And there's a celebration, and today's Cinco de Mayo. So it matters that we get to like move our energy, shake it out, and feel good about like where we are in this journey, and to know that you're supported. And yeah, here's another comment. Oh, here we go. Do you know Himalaya?
Oh, of course.
She's here right now. She loves Reiki, and she would love to receive from you. There you go. You already got a client through this live stream. Amazing.
So sweet and beautiful.
Yes, equally. So thank you for being here, and
Of
everyone.
course.
Yeah. Do you have any closing words for anyone?
To love yourself so that you can be a loving and inspiring human being, because we are in this experience together, and share your struggles just as much as you share your joy.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I shout out my live class tomorrow?
Absolutely. Let's hear it. Or tell everyone your schedule. Like, what's your schedule in general?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you mean my online classes?
Sure.
Okay. So, well, I'll start with tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm teaching at 8:45, build your booty confidence, 30-minute glutes and inner thigh workout. Thursday, I'm teaching yoga drills and 90s hip hop at 8:45. All my classes are always at 8:45. So I'll just shout out those for right now. But
okay. And here's your yoga.
And then and then I give 2 free meditations on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. and on Instagram. Everything is on Instagram. Meli Reiki is my public profile.
Wonderful.
Yay!
Yeah. And all of this is on the website as well. And yeah, I encourage everyone to follow Meli. I've known you for multiple years, and we met through Core Power, and we've done in-person, live yoga music experiences. And then we've done some live streaming classes that we're offering, and we'll make sure to post those in the comments. We're getting a new flyer done and some new dates out there for everyone to experience. And yeah, so thanks again for being here on the 5Q interview show. And I
Yes.
love all your responses, and I got to learn more about you. And I'm really grateful for what you're offering in the world. So thank you, hermana.
Thank you, DTO, Dave.
You're welcome.
Have a
Okay.
beautiful day. Nos vemos pronto.